The year is 1861. The United States is on the brink of a monumental conflict that will shape its future forever. Imagine America like a bad Thanksgiving dinner, simmering with tension. The air is thick with unresolved issues and unspoken grievances. You got Uncle Sam in the corner trying to hold it together. He's the embodiment of American ideals, but even he can't keep everyone in line. But everyone's arguing about the elephant in the room, slavery. It's the issue that no one can ignore, yet no one can agree on. The North, with its bustling factories, is all about that free labor life. They see a future of industry and innovation, where everyone has a chance to work for their own success. Meanwhile, the South, clinging to its agrarian roots, depends on enslaved people to keep those cotton fields booming. Their entire economy is built on the backs of enslaved labor. You know what they say, cotton is king, but at what cost? The South's wealth and way of life are tied to this brutal institution. Tensions rise higher than a stack of flapjacks. Every debate, every political move adds fuel to the fire. Each side thinks their way is the right way. Compromise? Forget about it. The divide is too deep, the stakes too high. It's like trying to agree on pizza toppings with your weird cousins. No one is willing to budge, and everyone is convinced they're right. Finally, after years of bickering, 11 Southern states throw their napkins on the table and storm off, forming the Confederate States of America. They believe they can create a new nation built on their own values. Uncle Sam just sighs. Looks like this family feud is about to get real messy. The stage is set for a conflict that will test the very fabric of the nation. April 12, 1861, Charleston Harbor, South Carolina. The air was thick with tension as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon. The Union-held Fort Sumter stood as a symbol of federal authority in the seceded states. Fort Sumter, a date and place forever etched in history. It was here that the first shots of the Civil War were fired, marking the beginning of a conflict that would tear the nation apart. The Confederates, feeling bold as brass, opened fire on the Union fort. Cannons roared, and the sky was filled with smoke and the deafening sound of artillery. The bombardment lasted for 34 hours, a relentless assault that left the fort in ruins. The Civil War had begun. Families were torn apart, and the nation was plunged into a bloody conflict that would last for 4 long years. The first major battle at Bull Run near Manassas, Virginia, was a real eye-opener. Both sides were unprepared for the scale and brutality of the fighting. It was a chaotic clash that shattered any illusions of a quick and easy war. Folks thought this war would be over in a snap. Spectators even came to watch the battle, bringing picnics as if it were a grand spectacle. They soon realized the grim reality of war. Turns out, war is a lot more complicated than a picnic. The battlefield was strewn with the dead and wounded, a stark contrast to the festive atmosphere the onlookers had expected. The Union got sent packing back to Washington, D.C., realizing this wasn't going to be a walk in the park. The retreat was chaotic, with soldiers and civilians alike fleeing in panic. The Confederacy, riding high on their victory, felt invincible. Their morale was boosted, and they believed they could secure their independence with ease. Little did they know, they were in for a long, hard fight. The war would drag on, with countless battles and immense suffering on both sides. This was only just the beginning. The nation was on the brink of a transformative period, one that would redefine its very essence and leave an indelible mark on its history. 1862 rolled around and the war was in full swing. Antietam, Maryland became the stage for the single bloodiest day in American history. Over 22,000 casualties littered the cornfield, a grim reminder of war's brutal toll. But Antietam wasn't just about bloodshed. It gave Lincoln the win he needed to drop a bombshell, the Emancipation Proclamation. This document declared enslaved people in Confederate territory forever free. This changed the game. The war wasn't just about preserving the Union anymore, it was about freedom. Section 4. Leaders and Legends, Shaping the Course of War. No story of the Civil War is complete without mentioning the big players. These were the men whose decisions, strategies, and leadership styles shaped the course of the war and ultimately, the future of the United States. In the Union corner, you had Abraham Lincoln, the lawyer from Illinois turned president. His leadership was crucial in keeping the Union together during its darkest hours. Think of him as the coach, trying to wrangle his team to victory. His ability to communicate and inspire was unmatched, and he was a master at rallying the public and his troops. His speeches, like the Gettysburg Address, still give us chills. They were not just words but powerful messages that resonated deeply with the American people and continue to do so today. Then there's Ulysses S. Grant, the Union general who, let's just say, enjoyed a good cigar and a stiff drink. Grant was a relentless and determined leader, known for his tenacity and unyielding spirit. He wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, leading the Union Army to victory in the West. His aggressive tactics and willingness to engage the enemy head-on were key factors in the Union's success. On the Confederate side, you had Robert E. Lee, the Southern gentleman who could rock a uniform. Lee was a man of honor and principle, respected by both his men and his adversaries. He was a brilliant tactician, but even he couldn't overcome the North's advantages in resources and manpower. Despite his best efforts and strategic genius, the overwhelming industrial and numerical superiority of the Union forces proved too much to handle. These leaders, with their unique styles and approaches, left an indelible mark on history. Their legacies continue to be studied and admired, reminding us of the complexities and human elements that shaped the course of the Civil War. Section 5. The South Fights Back, Gettysburg and Vicksburg. The summer of 1863 proved to be a turning point. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania became the site of the war's most famous battle. For 3 days in July, the armies clashed in a ferocious struggle. The Confederate defeat at Gettysburg, along with the Union victory at Vicksburg, Mississippi, marked a turning point in the war. The Confederacy was now on the defensive, their hopes of winning the war fading faster than a cheap pair of blue jeans. Section 6. A Nation Forged Anew, Reconstruction, and its Aftermath. After 4 long years, the war finally ended in April 1865, with a Confederate surrender at Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. The nation, battered and bruised, had to pick up the pieces. Reconstruction, the effort to rebuild the South and integrate formerly enslaved people into society, began. It was a time of hope, but also immense challenges. The South, still bitter about the war's outcome, resisted change every step of the way. The road to equality would be long and arduous, paved with both progress and setbacks. Section 7. Echoes of the Blue and Gray, the Civil War's Enduring Legacy. The American Civil War might be a chapter in the history books, but its legacy echoes through time. It reminds us of the fragility of democracy, the enduring power of hope, and the ongoing struggle for equality. The war's impact can be felt in our laws, our culture, and our very understanding of what it means to be American. From the civil rights movement to debates about social justice today, the echoes of the blue and gray continue to shape our nation's soul.